Mamba out.
Drippin', saucy, yeah, bitch, I do this often. My bitch is bad, she always in office. Don't got the tags on running my body. Can't see the pads, I'm living new fast. With 20, my dash, I'm up, but I lost him. He wanna brag, I emptied his bag and took what he had. Don't care what it cost him. Then he broke, he turned to a hoe. I seen him before, the shit is exhausting. Ran on a hoe, I wanna be known. The stage of my soul, you ran him awesome.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Sports Center is Aiden Actors, and that is Aiden Munson, and thank you for joining us here on Sports Center is Aiden. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, comment down below, and also make sure that for post notification for every video and update from our channel. And today we are starting our new series, starting the NBA second round in the NBA playoffs.
I went 7-for-1. Well, no, it's about to be 7-for-1 if the Mavericks finish the job tonight. But I was 6-for-1 currently, and Darius is losing badly.
Yeah, I had a couple bad picks, but Aiden, a couple bad picks. Let's recap on the Milwaukee Bucks first round. They swept Jimmy Butler and the Bubble Guppies, which are the Miami Heat, and the Brooklyn Nets. Excuse me. They destroyed the Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum came on a show in that series, but the Brooklyn Nets eventually pulled away in that series in 5 games. And we have the number 2 seed going against the number 3 seed in the second round. Giannis Antetokounmpo versus the Big 3. Aiden, who do you have in this series?
The Greek Freak coming off of a clean sweep, and he usually is atrocious in the playoffs. Drew Holiday playing like a true number 2 option. Chris Middleton doing his job. I like it. I also like the Brooklyn Nets, which got out of there almost unscathed with that one game that they only put down against the Boston Celtics when Jason Tatum had to have a night, put the team on his back. The Bucks aren't the Celtics, and the Nets aren't the Heat. We have to make this very clear. I have immense faith in both teams, and this series could go either way. But right now, we were discussing in a group call, Darius and our friends, who's going to guard who? Who's going to guard who? Who are they going to put on Giannis? Most likely KD. Who are they going to put on Harden? Most likely Holiday. Who's going to be put on Kyrie? I wouldn't say it would be Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton would be out of position if he was guarding Kyrie. Would he not be? Yeah, wouldn't he be out of position? Yeah, he'd be out of position.
Depends. He's primarily, he could play either 1 through 3. He could play point guard, shooting guard, or small forward. In my opinion, he's a great 2-way player. So,
well, then you have Lopez who plays the 5, and then Giannis gets moved down to the 4 because it's more flexible for him. And you have Drew who plays the 3, so he would have to play the 2 or the 1. So yeah, Middleton's not known for his defense, though. I don't have much faith in Middleton as a defender. I have faith in Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is an all NBA defender. Giannis Antetokounmpo is an all-time NBA. Is an all NBA defender. He is a defensive player of the year in a year where most thought it should have been Anthony Davis. Giannis Antetokounmpo is without a doubt now. Oh Lord, and I don't want. Giannis Antetokounmpo is currently now the best player in the world. And Darius.
Oh my gosh.
Darius.
Oh, man. Go ahead.
No.
Ahead.
I want to hear you for a minute. Why would I not say that? Currently, right now, it's excuse the language, but it's damn sure not Kawhi. LeBron got bounced in the first round. He's out. It's either KD, Giannis, or Harden, in my opinion. That's who you're picking out of the 3, KD, Giannis, or Harden. And I know you'd probably lean more towards KD, and I'm okay with that. But for right now, it's Giannis. But I'm not going with my assuming best player in the world. I'm going to still be going with the Brooklyn Nets, and I'm going to be taking Brooklyn in 7. You thought the series with the Hawks and Knicks was exciting, where my Hawks and my man Trae Young handed the Knicks that L. Had Madison Square Garden looking like the fucking quiet place. You thought that was entertaining. You thought that was entertaining. Well, this series is going to be very entertaining. I have Brooklyn in 7. I'm going with the safe bet here. I'm probably not going to score as well as I did on the first round. That's just how it is. Lightning doesn't strike in the same place twice. But you know what? We're going to try. I'm going with Brooklyn in 7. And Darius, real quick, we're not going to make this a full-length discussion. Who is your best player in the world?
I mean, with
off the top of your head.
Off the top of my head, man, it's very, very tough. I mean, of course, I think LeBron should still have a say. I think LeBron should still have a say. I think he should. But if Kevin Durant eventually wins the championship this season, I think KD would have to say. But if LeBron does,
I said it was Giannis, but I was being a little presumptuous. In my opinion, it's KD or Giannis, leaning more towards Giannis. But I get what you're saying with KD.
Yeah, it's pretty interchangeable. But
LeBron can be number 3, maybe, or number 4. He's at a discussion. No, unfortunately.
Okay, man. Okay, we'll see. All right, to the series.
Let's see how he rehabs.
Back to this series. Of course, the safe bet, the odds obviously go to the Brooklyn Nets. Looking at the Bucks this past series in the first round against Miami, they completely outside of game 1, where Jimmy Butler made the buzzer beater layup to send the game to overtime. Of course, Chris Middleton game winner in overtime. Eventually won that game, and it was over from that point on. Looking at the Bucks, of course, Giannis averaged 23.5 points, 15 rebounds, 7.8 assists. Great numbers by him. Look at Chris Middleton. He was averaging 21. Lopez was averaging close to 16. Drew Holiday was averaging 15, 6, and almost 10 assists, which is great. Now, this Bucks team is really, really deep. Of course, the Bucks, I do believe last year, they liked the physicality and toughness. That's why I believe it was great pickups when they traded for Holiday, when they added Bobby Portis. But a huge loss for the Bucks is Dante DiVincenzo, their starting point guard, who was now out for the rest of the season due to injury. Now, even though it's a huge loss, I do believe Middleton and Holiday can step up. They still have PJ Tucker, who is one of the best corner, if not the best corner 3-point shooter in the NBA. They still have Pat Connaughton. This roster is really, really deep. But comparing to the Brooklyn Nets, of course, you still have that big 3. Don't forget you still have Joe Harris, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. Now, Aiden, I'm trying to figure out. Giannis is a phenomenal player. I don't really use on the show that we're unguardable that much. Unguardable players.
There's nobody on that team that can full on face to face run with him. I get what you're trying to say here.
Now, you look at a regular season game a couple of months ago, before the regular season ended, where the Milwaukee Bucks actually faced the Brooklyn Nets, and I do believe James Harden wasn't playing that game. I believe it was just AD and Kyrie. Now, the Brooklyn Nets left Giannis open from the 3 all game long. Giannis made those 3s all day long. So, guess what? If Giannis is shooting the same way he was in that game, the same way he's shooting now, putting up the same stats.
I think what most people think with their game plan with Giannis, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, is that if you push him to the outside and you keep him out the paint, he's automatically ineffective as a scorer. And what we've seen from the past is that is not true.
Right. I don't really think you will be able to double team Giannis because you still have other guys on the court that are capable of making those shots from the 3-point line, mid range, and actually getting into the post. I don't believe you can run man to man on the net on the Bucks. Now back to the Nets, of course, those big 3. I don't think you can stop them. You can neutralize them. I do believe you can contain at least one, and I think the one person you can actually try to contain here to give you the best odds for the Bucks to win this series is actually you can try to contain Kyrie Irving. You can try to contain Kyrie Irving. I do know James Harden is probably the primary point guard, the one option for the Brooklyn Nets when it comes to facilitating and stuff like that. But I do believe if you can take away one out of the game, if you can focus on that one guy, I do believe that will have additional impact on the Nets in some of those games. I do believe you still have Joe Harris, one of the best 3-point shooters. Blake Griffin he's Blake Griffin. DeAndre Jordan, he really hasn't been playing as much in these playoffs and throughout the late regular season. But I do believe Steve Nash does have to open up his roster. And I mean by a lot, because you have a lot of great guys that are capable of doing great things. Look at Nicholas Claxton, who's behind, I believe, DeAndre Jordan. And I do believe Blake Griffin as well when it comes to the 4-5 position. Nicholas Claxton, give him a couple of minutes when Steve Nash has to figure out how to open up his roster. And don't forget to have Jeff Green as well, who was a phenomenal veteran player who can score 14 in an instant. But right now, my pick is, man, I'm really undecided on this matchup.
I was too for a while. Then I went ahead and went with the safest bet I could make possible. Brooklyn in 7, which was the by voting odds, I think personally Brooklyn in 7 is the safest pick anybody can go with.
Yeah, it's a very, very safe pick. I'm definitely not down the talent of Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving in that big three. But when it comes to as a team collectively, who I trust, who was a great defensive team, who's great offensively, who can facilitate the ball, and I know I can trust those guys to make some wide open shots, even those guys coming off the bench. I'm going Bucks in 7. I'm going Bucks in 7 games. I know.
I can respect that. I can respect that.
I know it's not. I know the not the best pick. But looking at how great this Bucks team played in the first round, even though the Heat are a worse team than the Brooklyn Nets, are, obviously looking at how much talent they had on that Heat team, you contain Jimmy Butler, you contain Tyler Hero, you contain Gordon Dragic to an extent. Duncan Robinson was doing his thing, but besides that, you pretty much neutralized that entire Heat team. And right now, looking at who has momentum, the resting period, because the Bucks had pretty much, I believe, like a week and a half of rest time. I have the Bucks in 7 games, but it could change, man. This is going to be one of the best series in the playoffs, if not the best series so far. 2 great teams in the playoffs, competing for a spot in the Eastern Conference Finals. Aiden, do you have any final words?
No, I think that's about it for me, man. Like I said, me and Darius went with relatively safe voting odds bets. We didn't really want to take a bunch of risk with this series. We both agreed this would be very entertaining. We made some outlandish claims about who we believe the best players in the world are. And altogether, this was a very exciting episode. Again, to reiterate, Darius went Bucks in 7. I'm going Brooklyn in 7. Both of us have this series going to 6 or 7 games. And both agree that this could go either side. And it is the by far most competitive matchup of the playoffs so far. But without further ado, this has been Sports Now with Darius and Aiden. I am Aiden. That is Darius. And we will see you on the next episode of Sports Now with Darius and Aiden. Peace.